It's a new day. Another new day. Woke alive again with all of you. It's a good day. Still dark out. Don't know what time it is. I think it's 5:30 or something. Getting close to 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And I managed to go to the big buck contest at a local outdoors store in Campbell River on Vancouver Island. And I went with my friend and his daughter, who I helped her get her archery elk. And she took the first place. She brought in the largest elk for the year. It's pretty exciting. Got her name in the record book. And then I won the big prize for the coastal blacktail. Won a brand new binocular package and a bunch of other goodies. It's pretty fun. We went late though, so I missed out on most of the other antlers brought in. But anyway, that was good. So now, got to get some more voices heard as usual. It's endless, and I'm not going to stop. And still today, this is the #1 viewed place in the world when it comes to telling truth and this topic, the dominant topic that we take on here. Bravo for all of you. It's only because of the people, right? The people realizing that their voice is the most important. Now, on that note, it's unsettling right now. I'm going to make sure that everybody's aware of this, okay? Before I get going. I was listening. Whenever I wake up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, whatever I do, if I'm driving somewhere, traveling, I always listen to somebody. Try to. And I predominantly listen to brave truth speakers. And what one of them made clear the other day was a young guy who's he's got some cojones on him, holy cow. But anyway, he is explaining how if you speak the truth against various bad actors that don't want us to speak truth, the #1 common thing they do is they go after you to destroy your life. It's pretty weak, isn't it? It's pretty gross. But anyways, they try to take away your source of making a living. That's going on here in the modern world, right? Isn't it alarming? It's very upsetting. It's very frustrating. And but the more I see and witness of all this, the more fuel I get. And the more I realize, the more and more nonstop I realize, hey man, you can't do that to people. You're not allowed to do that to people. You're just a person. And I get very frustrated at all the people, all the people with the so-called power that do manage to take your voice away. And if they can't take your voice away, they'll take your income away. They'll take your way of feeding your family away. That is the #1 go-to move. It's pretty shitty, right? And then you're expected to not be able to do anything about it, whereas we should be able to go right up to their front door and yard them out in the front yard and give them what's for. Right? But anyway, a lot of people out there, when I have said, come on, do something, say something, do something, a lot of people say, I can't do anything. What am I going to do? I got kids, I got mouths to feed, mortgage payment to make. I don't have a big following. I can't do anything. But you can do something. It starts with the children. You need to raise your children with the truth. You need to raise your children to really get it in them clearly that it should be absolutely humiliating to be dishonest. That should be lesson #1 in life. That would clear up a lot of bullshit. That would make life better for everybody across the board, including the children. Would be #1. Just educate them that being dishonest should be the #1 shame they could ever bring upon themselves, is being dishonest. Right? Not being kind. And not standing up for themselves, their friends, their families, their neighbors. 3 simple lessons right there. It's pretty easy, right? If it was 3, wasn't it? But that's what you can do. If you don't have a large following and you don't have, that means you don't think you can make a difference, you can make a difference. Speak the truth whenever you can, no matter how crazy the truth sounds, how much it might hurt somebody's fragile little feelings. Speak the truth at all costs. Be honest. That is what's going to change the world. That's what's going to change the bad to good. That's what's going to make the people who are dark hide in the dark and disappear. I do feel sorry for the people who've chosen to be dark It's amazing to watch. I don't know how you do it in life, right? Imagine going to bed. Imagine what, I always wonder what happens, what will happen, what would it be like? You're okay, you're in that deathbed. You're definitely dying. You're not leaving that building. Wherever you are, you're not leaving. You're not leaving that bed. This is it. And you got to sit there with yourself and review everything you did in this lifetime. And I don't think there's probably too many people that are, the dark ones are going to go, man, I really managed to mislead a lot of those people, didn't I? Yes, I did. Or, man, I really managed to cause a lot of wars and kill millions of people this lifetime. I really did a good thing. I really utilized my life's time for the better. Man, did I ever do a good job? Said probably nobody ever, right? Okay, I'm babbling. I got to stop right now. But that's my message to all you is we have to stop this insanity. We have to stop this insanity. We have to stop people from being able to take your life away for not saying, doing what they want you to do or say or not say. That's a major violation. Major violation, all right? And that's also one of my main motivators in life, to fight back. You know, the amount of people that manage to keep all your voices suppressed when it comes to this topic is significant, what they managed to pull off, and how and I am thoroughly enjoying how the tide has turned and swung around, and they've been kicked to the curb. Just from this asshole here and all of you. And what did it take? Speaking honestly. That's all it took, right? Just being honest and listening to every single human being honestly, word for word. That's all it took. Never said like, subscribe, share once, ever. All it was honesty. That's it. And I hope this channel and this group of people, I hope that is a very obvious thing of how this channel is an example of how powerful being honest is. Right? It's a simple lesson to teach your children, teach your family, teach your neighbors, teach your coworkers, your employees, whatever. Just be honest, and you will flatten out everything that's negative in your way with being honest. I was trying to, I'm gonna have another sip of coffee. For all you that can't stand me talking, we're having some more coffee. I tried to go down the list. I put up a post the other day. I was like, I wonder where everybody is in the world that comes here to listen to all of the people and to speak with each other. And I was wondering, I wonder where everybody is from the world. And I put that post up, and I don't know, there's thousands of replies. You can't even go through them all. But you should take a look and go down through the comment section where I posted on the community page. And literally, the world is here. Right here. In this crazy little YouTube channel that we all created together. The whole frickin' world is here. Countries I don't think I've even heard of are here. Isn't that exciting? So it's good to be able to get the message of being honest out on such a large plane. There you go. There you go. That's all I got to say on that. Now, more important voices in mind. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I'm going to leave my heater going too because it's freaking cold in here. This email is titled Interdimensional Travel. Oh, wait. Side note. I was just sharing with Sarah this morning. She gets up early too. I had a dream last night. Get this one. I had a dream last night. And I'm still getting goosebumps right now. And I had a dream I was with a friend of mine we're hunting with, and we were somewhere in the south central interior BC. And how do I know that? Because of the layout of the hills and the timber and the land was somewhat familiar. And we were at some farmhouse, some private rural property with a family, and they had a bunch of kids, and they're giving us permission to cut through the property to go and hunt for elk. And there was on the fence line, there was a barn. It's almost like a two-level barn with like a hay area here, and the big doors open on the right side, and then a second level with a A-frame roof on it, right? Gable roof. And then I was going up the fence line. There's a big oak tree on my right, or maple, whatever it was, big leafed tree on my right, casting a shadow on there, sunshine behind, and it was on looking downhill at an angle like that. The fence line went up. This is a crystal clear dream, which I never remember my dreams crystal clear. They're always when you wake up and you know you had a crazy dream and you're trying to remember it to share it with your partner, and then it's just like little blips, and then you can't even relay your dream. But this dream I can say word for word, stick for stick, leaf for leaf. It's very bizarre. Anyway, I'm going, and I rarely have these dreams. Very rarely. So if years apart I've had dreams flavored with this flavor. So I'm going up the fence line. It's middle of the day, the sun's high and clear sky. I look down into that, I'm glancing down to the left in that barn, and there's a timber frame in the opening, and the doors in the front are wide open, 10-foot possibly door high, and the back was open, like where horses might come in or something. And I look through, and here's this thing, this being, standing right there in the shadow of that underneath thing, and sort of went back like that, but let me see him. And I've had some dreams in the past. When I was looking for these beings intentionally years ago in Pemberton, and then I stopped, scared shit out of me, around that time, I had dreams almost every second night that these beings were coming after me. What's up with that? Like almost every second night for a long time. I had dreams, nightmares of something chasing me down or coming to get me in the woods. It's really weird. But anyway, so this is last night. I had this dream, and here's this thing. It was reddish brown, but on the darker side, brown hair. Long hair up the head. I mean, face, there's no hair in the face. Face seemed a little scrunched up, but not too bad. But it wasn't, and like I said, Eric, it wasn't human. It wasn't no monkey. It was real. I'm getting goosebumps right now. And this being was underneath this house, kind of looking up at me, and I remember thinking, holy shit, that is huge. These things are huge. I've got goosebumps from head to toe right now. And then it kind of ducked back a little bit, and then I saw it moving behind it, and there's 3 more behind it. And then they spun and went to take off. And I had my cell phone with me, so I went running uphill the fence, underneath the fence, because behind the farm there's a cut line all the way down the hill with overhanging willows and poplar branches over the top like a canopy. And you can see all the way down for about 500 yards. There's a creek in the bottom. And then boom, I caught 3 of them. One jumped across the opening into the poplars, and the other one started running down, and I got my cell phone up, and I bumped something. I couldn't get a clear picture. When I woke up. How's that for a bizarre dream? And I mean, I see that dream right now, crystal clear. I can smell the air, hear the leaves blowing in the trees. But it was very weird, because all the other dreams I've ever had in my lifetime of this scenario, you never really saw a clear face or a clear end. It was just something big covered in hair coming after you. It was terrifying. But this is the first time ever. And I said to Sarah this morning, I'm like, what's up with that? It's like some kind of a soft introductory, maybe. I don't know, but it was something else. It was something else. I can't believe it was a dream. It's a very bizarre dream. There you go. Share it. All right, let's get back to this email. Hi, Steve. Mike Gogolin, getting back with you again. I heard you read a share about a little girl that went missing from her locked down house. These people are interdimensional beings. I told you before they can walk through walls, rocks, trees. As interdimensional beings, there are like 7 different planes of existence, and they have the ability to put their physical state in any of the 7 planes. In the other 6, they are in spirit form. Thus, they can go through solid objects, then change from spirit back to physical state. In the Bible, Book of John, 2019, after the resurrection, 2019 says, quote, "Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst, and saith unto them, Peace be unto you." End quote. Now, as Jesus was just crucified days earlier, he was in his glorified state, quote, spirit, end quote, and was able to walk through the walls of the house the disciples were in, then change into physical state and appear to the disciples. Hence the predator thing of cloaking. And to take it a step further, the little girl was picked up by the Sabe, and he was able to put her in spirit at the same time he put himself in that state, walk with her in his arms. Then when the girl's parents found her outside on the porch, quote, "Lucky to have found her at all," end quote, The Sabe person wanted her. The Sabe person wanted her. They're very lucky to have gotten her back. Now let's go deeper. If these people are Nephilim, which means half fallen angel and half human, quote, unknown father, human mother, end quote, does God the Father give them the same choice of being good or evil as humans have? The fallen angels are pure evil, as they made a conscious decision to follow Satan. But as they took human women, means these women were taken against their will. As such, the Nephilim are half human, so there can be good ones or evil ones, and God may give free will to them as he does for us. Now let's talk a bit about the other cryptids: Dogman, Bearman, Goatman, Lizard People, Rakes, and others. These are government assets made by evil people doing evil experiments. They use these to carry out tasks for the government, such as in war. I have no proof of this, just suspicion. Just suspicion. All right, your delivery's a little off, though, because your delivery is like you're telling us that's what's up. But then you finish with just suspicion. Get it? Following you. As I once killed a bear man, I know of a trucker that killed a dog man. What? Did I read it? Did I read that? He was visited by men in black types that threatened him and let him know it was one of their assets. You be very careful out there where you hunt. It can be very dangerous, especially after dark. I was all over that country in '67 when I was 11 years old. Alberta, Northwest Territories, BC, the Yukon Territories. 3 months of the most amazing country. Animals, people, and Sabe are, as I've come to know them, is simply the people. They told me they are the same as me. So, I take that they are talking about the human half. I did spend some time on Vancouver Island too, and was mind spoke to there. As for that subject, mind speak, when I was born in '56, I was breech facing the wrong way, and the cord was around my neck. To say it was a difficult birth for my mother, and just doesn't seem to cover it. A couple typos. My head, the right side of my head, was injured during my birth. I had a mass of fluid that made my head look like two heads. The right side of my brain was under a lot of pressure for the first 3 months of my life. I had been scheduled for surgery about 2 days before that. The right side of my head went down by half its size. The doctor made a house call. That's right, a house call. I had many people in many countries praying for me. Now what I'm getting at is, with the right side of my brain being under so much pressure, the left side was learning what the right would have been learning for 3 months of my new life. Once the pressure went back to normal, the right side of my brain was in high gear playing catch-up with the left. Could this be why I was able to mind speak? I had the people. I had, quote, the people, end quote, do something to my brain. The best way I can explain it, it's like either electric or magnetic. When they did this to me, around 1985, it began. 20 years of night terrors and no dreams. I still have all my memories, but I feel like they took my memories and they watched them like we watch TV. This is getting pretty long, but I hope I've helped those here at the round table, my brothers and sisters, whom are learning the things that governments don't want us to know. Peace and love to all. I've had more encounters than I've cared to, and have talked to some of the people, but just because you can, some of them will not talk to you anyway. Goes back to good or evil. Well, there's an interesting email. Did you send me? You must have sent me. You killed a bear man. What the hell is that? And if you have sent that to me, I'm going to have to do a little search to find it, or send it to me again. Now, if we have a lot of people suggesting, or even possibly a lot of people try to tell us directly that the government is creating hybrids to fight people and have as assets and win wars and shit. I don't know. Do I say that's not possible? I haven't a clue. I think anything's possible at this stage of the game, but this is what I think about. So when people go to war, when they finally pull the trigger and go to war, they definitely have zero respect for the other side, right? I mean, nothing. If you've got secrets the other side wants you to keep, I'm pretty sure you'd spill them, wouldn't you? You think of the dirty, filthy, disgusting things that these people who cause wars do to each other. I'm pretty certain that if one side had successfully created some kind of a hybrid animal, superhuman, 9 feet tall, whatever they crossed it with, and they unleashed it in the field against the other side, I'm pretty sure the other side would have some kind of video recording, especially right today. If you watch any of the dog shit going on today online with a lot of soldiers are wearing GoPros and they're recording and posting up some pretty disgusting things nonstop on social media. I don't know how it's allowed, but it's allowed. Meanwhile, we're not allowed to say anything against one of these. You'll get eliminated from the social media, right? But if you can show somebody getting their face blown in half. Anyways, another topic. I'm pretty certain the other side would be exposing their opposition for doing that with video and photograph evidence or verbal, anything. There'd be soldiers, because all these soldiers seem to have access to the internet with their GoPros, and they're posting it up. So I'm just saying and trying to get this as quick as I can. If the government was using these assets for war, using them as assets to control, kill, manipulate human beings in any way, especially in war, the other side would have exposed that by now clearly on social media. Don't you think? Possibly. Also, we do have some friends here, especially Rob Duval, who has done 30 years of investigating this topic and has shared with us numerous examples of just how far back these human hybrids go. I mean, it's in our faces in the Catholic Church. It's in our faces in the Egyptian ruins. And the Egyptian ruins were far before our modern sleazy and corrupt governments of today. Even 50 years ago, even 100 years ago, if people think that the government was creating these beings. Maybe some of them are tapping into this. Apparently China has been tapping into this a little bit, but apparently, but getting back to us, so I mean, if our government is doing that today successfully, they're only copying somebody or something that was done thousands of years before. So these beings have been around far longer than our government. Babbling. I'm just throwing down the argument of, I don't know, man. I don't know about the government thing doing this right now, and that is the ultimate answer for all these beings that us, the innocent, honest people, are seeing. I think it goes back a long time before our corrupt, sleazy governments of today. That's all I'm saying, but I don't know. I haven't a clue. Now, thanks for sending that in, man. If I remember to, because usually when I leave here, I go right into a whole bunch of other shit, and I forget to look up people's names in my inbox to see what's up with our emails. But I'll remember to check out and see if the Bear Man Death email from you is in the inbox. If not, send it to us, please, if you would, if you're still with us here. All right, did I read this? I don't know. This is titled Ghost Encounter. Now, I'm going to start by saying that I know this isn't your usual story, but I figured I would send it anyways, because what do I got to lose? My name is, and you put your name, and right away you said I prefer you to leave my name out of the video. So if you do one on this story, I live in Minnesota, central Minnesota. I have a patch of woods by my house that is around 2 miles long and 1 mile wide. I am 15 years old, going to be 16 in April. So this encounter happened, I think 2 weeks ago. Okay, what's the date on this? This is in 2020. Sorry, man, it took so long to get to you, but we've got you now. But one thing for sure is this encounter will stick with me forever. So when this happened, I was on my way back home from changing out the batteries in my trail camera. I was walking along the edge of the woods in my grandpa's hayfield, which is right behind my house. My trail camera is probably a quarter mile to a half a mile from my home. I was probably around a quarter to a halfway home when this happened. I remember it was a complete overcast day, and it happened before the sun even set. All right, now for the encounter. I was just minding my own business, walking home, and all of a sudden I noticed like a haze out of the corner of my eye. It was to the left of me, less than a foot or two. I'm getting goosebumps all over, and the hair on my head, on my neck is flared like no tomorrow just typing this to you. After I made a conscious thought, like, what the F is that? I flew 10 feet or so. It flew 10 feet or so behind me and hovered 4 or 5 feet off the ground. It stayed there for a split second. Then it flew off to my left, basically looked like it would have shoulder bumped me if it was a physical thing. Not saying that what I saw wasn't real or anything. Now back to the story. Then it got in my face. I'm not joking when I say that. I think I was staring up at it, or we were eye to eye, one of the two. While I was staring at it, then all of a sudden something that looked like eyes formed out of thin air. Not exactly, but you know what I mean. The eyes were jet black. They looked like they had a pity look to them for a split second. Then in an instant, it got pissed. Very pissed. The look was so menacing, it was even worse than when I got my dad really mad when I was a kid. I didn't even do anything to make that thing get pissed off. I just stood there staring with my mouth open, with an expression on my face that showed, what on God's green earth am I looking at? I never blinked until it disappeared. It disappeared really weird, like it faded, almost from my view. It was there 1 second, then fades away the next. Then I started fast walking and looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds. Then it didn't take long before I was full out sprinting towards home while still looking over my shoulder. The ghost's haze, or whatever, looked exactly like when you open up a wood stove and see the heat radiating off the coals and flames, and that's exactly what that looked like. The eyes I have no explanation for. I've been a subscriber to you since 15,000, and I've watched almost all your videos. So I know that you will take this seriously, even though you are more into the Bigfoot stuff. Unlike any of my family members, besides my one cousin, who lives in a completely different state than me, I have known about Bigfoot since I was 6 or 7 because my dumbass brother would watch that Finding Bigfoot show, and I was terrified when they would do the recreations of the eyewitness accounts. Even though my whole family didn't think it was real, my gut was saying back then that they are real. But I'm a very curious person, and that's why I clicked on your first Sasquatch video, even though I've been trying to forget about it and go into the woods like everyone else who doesn't think they are real. But I think it was the way you talk. Also because you are a really wise-sounding person. In other words, you have a lot of wisdom. Just live life careful. But that all disappeared a long time ago. Oh, sorry, just live life carefree, but that all disappeared a long time ago. Thanks to the goddamn BF blah blah O, I get a shit ton of anxiety now when I'm alone in the dark, even if it's just 20-yard dash to go start my brother's truck up for him at 11:30. I get really anxious and creeped out. I always did get some when I was a little kid, but now it seems to get worse since all this happened. Sincerely, Joshua Beck. I'm sorry, apologize, Joshua, if I butchered your last name, all right, my man? Now, listen up. So, what, you're 15? So you're 17 now? 17, 18, 19 now? I hope you're still watching. I'm guessing you're still watching, man. And, I absolutely have huge respect for you for coming forward and sharing that honest story with us, all right, man? First off, I have a lot of respect for you for doing that, all right? I guess if you've been here long enough, then you've heard me say it a million times. Just go with your gut. Go with your gut, all right? But don't let it overpower you. Don't let the fright of the unknown overpower you and take all of your passions of life away. Don't let it do that to you. I know it's going to be hard right now, but as you get older and learn more, you're going to get braver. You're going to come to realize a lot more. You're going to learn a lot from listening to the people here, okay? And it's going to get better for you, all right? And your confidence is going to grow, and you're going to become more aware, and you're probably going to become one of the more intelligent people in your entire world because you know truth already at a young age. So you're ahead of the game. So, go with your gut. But go anyway. Go everywhere and do everything you love and want to do anyway, but go with your gut, all right? If it feels off, it's off. If you feel like you shouldn't be over there right now, don't go over there. All right? If you're not certain, if you don't think you're absolutely in tune with your gut instincts yet, get a dog and bring the dog wherever you go where you think you might be hesitant to go because of your experience, all right? And let the dog be your sixth sense, because that's what they are. They are our sixth sense on a leash. A very, very accurate sixth sense, all right? So use a dog, go with your gut. Don't argue with your internal feeling. Don't argue with your gut. If you argue with yourself, you're going to lose, all right? Your gut, you're going to lose. Anyway, Babbling. Do I think that was a ghost? Nope. No, I don't. Do I think it's one of these beings? Yes, I do. That's just me, though, everybody. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. Do I believe it's one of these beings? Absolutely do I ever. Yes, I do. Why do I believe that? Because we have literally probably hundreds of honest human beings around the globe have shared basically the same sight. Although not that close and not seeing just the eyeballs. Well, we might have had a few saying that, but we've had the shimmering things been available to us for knowledge for a long time. A woman bow hunter videotaped it in the trees above her. It's a real thing. What you saw is very real. Now, why do they look so pissed and want to rip our head off when they realize we can see them? I don't know why. I don't know. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of speculations, a lot of opinions that I've been taking in. I listen to every one of them, but I do not know with confidence why. Otherwise, I'd share with you guys right away. Why are they so filled with evil, anger, and hatred when they see that we can see them? That's something I think I'm picking up. It is when they realize we can see them. That really kicks them off, right? That's a knee-jerk reaction and a rage for them. Why is that? Is it because they're being tested and they just failed? Now they got to go back to go again? Maybe. You never know, right? People are going to say the counting coup thing. See how close you get to your enemy undetected. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. But right now, all I can come up with is they failed. They failed their test. They failed whatever they set out to do. And I think the ultimate goal was to remain concealed from us. And when they see that we can see them, it really knee-jerks them into an emotional reaction, right? So that's a bad thing. It's a very bad thing when they realize we can see them. Don't know why yet. I'm pretty certain we're going to find out. Now, I hope you're doing well, my man. I hope you're doing well. Absolutely proud of you for coming forward and sharing that with us, all right? You come across anything alarming since then or in the future, make sure you email me back again, all right? Get it off your chest or share it. You found your safe place, okay? There we go. Next one. Who's next? Man, the one thing that's frustrating about this is there's so many freaking kind people come here, and I just want to email every single person back, but I can't. I just can't. It sucks. All right, have I read this before? I don't know, but it's titled, Please Help. Steve, I know we've never met. You're the only one I know that has at least some type of clue about these damn things. I sent you a story a while back about how one stole my deer. I don't care if you read either of these on your YouTube channel. I know you're a busy guy, but if you have advice for me, I would appreciate it. Things have escalated to a terrible point. Okay, what's the date here? 2020. The howls / grunts, or whatever the damn noise is, has happened closer and closer to my house. And now one of my prized horses has been killed and it was killed. A couple typos. It was killed. Okay, a typo. And I think he meant the way it was killed isn't normal. Its skull was caved in like being hit with a baseball bat or a club, except made for a giant. The center of its head was caved in, almost flat with the neck. Holy. So what you're saying is, there's a bunch of typos there, no big deal, we'll get through it. So this horse got hit in the head so hard it flattened out his head level with his neck. You and I both know how hard a horse's skull is. It has to be one of those damn things. I'm so scared and so pissed off. I love that horse. But more than it killed it, less than 50 yards from my back door. My mom and dad live with me, and me and my dad leave every Saturday to fish. I'm so scared. Something might happen to my mom. I don't want to, and I almost piss myself just thinking about it. But I am to the point I feel like I have to do something, like try to hunt and kill this effing thing. I know it's probably a terrible idea, but my mom is my world, and she doesn't carry a gun in the yard like I do. She's 65 years old and can't get around good, so I'm scared for her. I'm not trying to be some kind of effing hero, but my mom is my mom. I mean, I've seen one of these things, and they are so big. I don't even know if my biggest rifle is big enough, but I have to do something. If you have anything you can help with knowledge-wise, please do. I am desperate at this point. My name is Elijah Porterfield out of Tennessee. Just some knowledge, if you have any, would help a great deal. Holy shit. Damn it. See, this is the shit that frustrates me, because I naturally am prone to jump into people's fights, and I get invites daily. And it's frustrating because you want to go help, and there's nothing you can frickin' do, right? The horse thing, that's... I don't know why they've killed horses how many times now. They even had somebody said they hung a horse up 9 feet off the ground. Why do they do that? What's doing it? I don't know. You seen one of these things? Could you please, if you can, if you're still here following the channel, could you please email us in again with that experience, all right? Because that might help with myself or whoever's listening. They might throw you a bone with what to do. First off, speak out loud on the edge of the timber, wherever it is in your yard. You tell them that you know they're here. They know you're here, and to leave you alone, and command them to leave them alone. All right? And if you're a God-fearing person, then use the name of your Lord in there too, all right? Because that has worked more than numerous times. If you're scared about them coming to the property, leave some infrared lights circling your property. Leave them on 24/7 if you can. Infrared lights. IR light. I can't stand it. Okay? Do that as well. I don't know. Maybe you, and as well, you might want to speak honestly with your mom. See if she's had any feelings at all around your home. That's a good idea. Just speak honest with her. I know you're not going to want to scare her, but I've said this in the past. Okay, here I am sitting here right here. I look out back. My neighbor has a autistic child next door. He's got some alpacas. And I look over there and I see a grizzly bear right there headed towards her house. Oh shit, there's a grizzly bear. I don't want to tell her because I don't want to scare her. Said nobody ever. Right? Are you guys right people listening? So why do we keep these things secret from our neighbors when you see them in their property? It doesn't make sense. So I would, if you can, I know it might be tough, but sit down and have a family discussion about it so that everybody knows the honest truth. And everybody can share what they've felt in the property. Everybody can share what they've had, what they've experienced. And then you can take the advice from all the people here and possibly go over to Scott Carpenter's channel too and listen to what Scott has to say. He's had rest his soul, he's passed, but he's had a lot of success helping people with the same problem on their private property, right? So he's got some videos on his channel about what to do. But I think the first step would be to have an honest conversation in the house at the table with the family. Find out what's been going on with everybody, how they've been feeling. Be honest, look them in the eye. Don't be scared of each other. And, shit, this is a while ago, this email. Fuck. Email me back if you're still here, all right? Let me know what's up. Let the people know what's up here. And what's been going on, all right? And, it was 4 years ago. Shit, a lot's probably happened. Email us back. All right, here's another one. It's frustrating. A lot of shit frustrates me, right? It all boils down. Every single thing boils down to us being lied to and misled. Period. And a lot of people wonder why I spend enough time shitting on those assholes that so-called control the narrative before them. It's emails like this that make me want to grab them by the throat and wring it. Because they assisted in keeping the truth suppressed. Fuckers. Alright. Next email is titled Bigfoot Type Thing. Hey Steve, I want to give you some experiences I've had. First, let me back up to when I was in the 3rd grade. My sister and I were playing the pass-out game. What? Where you take a deep breath in and you hold it while the other person presses on your chest. Yes, we were not the brightest kids at that point, but when I did this and ended up passing out, I felt like I was in pitch black dark room and there was this white mist everywhere. I could just make out human figures, but I couldn't tell any figures. Same with the voices. I could hear what sounded like a room full of people talking, but couldn't make out what they were saying. Thank God I woke up after this incident, but since then I've definitely been more aware of these things, like Bigfoot creatures, etc. And now fast forward several years to when I was about 36 years old. I was looking for the answer of what these things are. All the creatures, not just what we call Bigfoot. Mainly, how did they manifest physically, but also be pretty much transparent when they wanted to. When I see these things, they look more like a black greenish or dark brown like energy mist shadow that is see-through, but take the shape of Bigfoot. But also, a lot of what I would call Fae-type beings. Mainly goblin, elves types. For several years, I was looking really deep into the biblical and world mythologies. Ancient histories to see if there was any answers to these beings, these things. It seemed the closer I got to the answers, the more questions I had. Fast forward again to when I was 38. This is one of the more frightening experiences I've had. I vividly remember going to bed one night after doing some searching for answers on these things, and I woke up suddenly, but couldn't move, like my body was stuck. I was laying on my back, and when I opened my eyes, I saw about 12 inches from my face an oval, shimmering opening with a face that had the blackest eyes, looking down at me. The creature's skin was charcoal color, but I could only see the area around its eyes, middle forehead to upper nose. I quickly closed my eyes and started praying like never before. I just kept saying, "Jesus, take it away," repeating it several times before I would open my eyes again. When I opened my eyes again, it was gone. No trace of it. This happened around 2 a.m., and my husband, who sleeps downstairs in his own room, ran upstairs and opened my door asking what the hell was that loud bang. I never heard any noise during this whole encounter, so I had no idea what he heard, but it had to be pretty loud to make him run upstairs to check what it was. My husband is a combat war veteran and no-nonsense type of person. We've been married for over 15 years, but I couldn't tell him what just happened. Needless to say, I stayed awake the rest of the night. And for your information, the feeling I had from this experience was that whatever this thing was, it was meant to scare me away from digging deeper into what this subject entails. Another experience that I had with my older sister and our kids was when we decided to hike a trail near our houses. This trail is not by any means in the middle of nowhere. It is right by a busy road. But when you're on the trail, you are surrounded by trees and nature and can't see the road once you get on the trail. We're on our way back to the cars after about an hour hiking, and I got this sick gut feeling something is watching us. I turned around and took a picture with my cell phone, which I will attach so you can see what I'm talking about. Whatever it is about 4 feet tall, unless it was kneeling somehow. The brown fur was exactly the same color of the tree it was behind. The details are not as crisp in the photo as when you're looking right at it. I'll send the picture so you can see it, see what you think. I still want to know what we are dealing with because there is no one that can tell me these things are pure physical creatures unless they possess really advanced technology that gives them the ability to become translucent to our eyes. I'm going to end it here since I've already written a book for an email. Thank you again, Steve, for what you do. There are many people out here who have had unexplainable things happen to them with this subject and feel ashamed to open up about it because of the stigma the assholes have made it out to be. Sincerely, Karen. Karen, appreciate your braveness and honesty, first off. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to share this on the video so everybody can look at what we're looking at here. I mean, I don't know what that is. For me, I wasn't there. It's very frustrating for people to have honest experiences and then take a picture and then send it to the internet via me. Especially me when I've stated, photographs don't do anything for me, but you got to trying to have compassion, understanding, and support for the people that share their experiences and photos. I wasn't there, and you're right, it's grainy, and right now it looks like a knot in the tree. But, one thing that you could have done or could do maybe one day if you want, just bring some friends and go there and take the exact same picture and put somebody beside that tree and see if that thing that looks like a potential muzzle and eyeballs and head, that's what I'm looking at, go take another photo, put somebody by that tree and see if that thing's gone, and that'll give us a little more perspective into what we're looking at clearer. But anyways, shared, and you're not the only one to have this ball of light in the frickin' house. We got it happening in my house. I think I mentioned earlier, I ran into a kind man in the grocery store here the other day who follows the channel, lives up the valley, near where I filmed those elk, and he had a volleyball-sized bright light in the house, although he hasn't seen these beings, and he told me flat out he doesn't want to. One thing for 100% certain, whether you want to, I'm speaking to everybody, whether you want to accept this fact or not, whatever the shit that's going on out there, these beings can do these crazy ass things. Right? I don't want it to be true, but I am a complete dumb ass, smart as a pickle human being if I do not listen to all of you, the people. I'm an idiot. Right? So that being said, the bright light is a very, very strong pattern spread out around the world. The eyeballs being in there, looking up. It's a pattern. It's an unfortunate one, but it's a pattern. Just like we had a detective email in and said flat out, as soon as they got 3 different versions of the same thing, investigation, they got a pattern and they go for it. 3. We've got thousands. Thousands. As the detective pointed out to me in the email, we've got tens of thousands going into various patterns, right? All right, well, if you're still following the channel, and you've had any significant or whatever, if you got something else you can share with us that'll help or help other people here come up with some kind of something to figure out some of the shit together, send it to me. my vocabulary isn't the best, is it? I'm not the best word slinger in the world, am I? But I get it across fairly clear. I can ramble and babble. One thing I don't give a shit is how I sound or what people think. So there you go. I don't need to practice anything. I don't need to deliver to the people in any certain way that works best. I don't do shit that works best online. Right? It's just straight up shit. Straight up honesty. And there you go. I'm going to carry on. I got a little fired up today with a few of the emails coming in because I just got the natural urge to go over to those people's houses and help protect them and fight for them, right? I'll tell you this, from what I understand is, if you ever have some kind of unknown being threatening you, as in coming on your property, going to threaten you, the word on the street is to shoot them in the head and sever their head if you dump them. That's all I can say in that department. If there's some people out there having some real shitty things going on, and they're wondering, and from what I understand, I believe that to be true. If it comes down to it, and you have to kill to preserve yourself or your family, you are to shoot them in the head and don't stop, and you dump them, you cut the head off. It's the word on the street. Anyway, all right. Another full day today, and I will be contacting people starting tonight, I believe. And I'll be back again tomorrow, because you can't stop this train. Share my story at howtohunt.com. That's where you get it shared word for word. Oh, Sarah said that anybody waiting for items ordered from her How to Hunt store, she dropped them off. We were away for a month. She does it all. That's her deal. And she dropped off the latest orders from the past month we were away. And she said to pass on that she still has an ongoing sale in her store. And that link is down below. There you go. I'll be back.